Okay, welcome to my assignment number one, Design Principles by Mark Zadarsky. I took a look at what my classroom should look like. As an environmental scientist and a geologist, the environment should offer a connection to the natural world, offer alternatives to visual information uptake, activate and supply background knowledge, facilitate collaboration and competition, provide time for solitude and reflection, and instill a sense of service and compassion. Number EL design principle number 8 was the natural world was a easy pick for me as an environmental scientist and geologist. Most of our classes are based in the field, so we all have quite a few field trips, and so this exposes students to the natural world quite often. It allows them to explore the surroundings, the Earth's history up close, and encourages discovery and experiences that a classroom alone cannot supply. Students are engaged in critical thinking exercises relating to the environment, allowing them to experience the connectivity between the human and natural worlds. Facilitates the use of technologies such as GPS and GIS, basically computerized mapping that can connect back up into the classroom at a later time. Students can process the data collected in their experience in the field. Plus, it also solidifies what they've learned while they were outside in the field. Environmental geology field trips also instill a sense of stewardship. Many students choose environmental science as a career path and as a way to get paid to leave the world in a better place than they found it. Another UDL design principle that I chose was checkpoint 1.3, offer alternatives for visual information. Just as a background here, this particular these two sets of pictures was the David H. Levy Adirondack Astronomy Retreat. And I sometimes do talks during the day, and they do astronomy at night. David H. Levy was one of the co-discoverers of the famous Shoemaker-Levy 9 comet back in 1994 that hit Jupiter. So why did I choose this one? Basically, to facilitate learning so for a diverse audience. So basically, everyone can connect to the content. You have people that are professionals, industry professionals, along with children at the same time. So you have a large range you have to account for when doing a presentation. So, text with pictures provides more esoteric knowledge to, the professionals. And at the same time, can reach the youngsters that are in the group, and they can, gain some knowledge out of it as well. I also provide physical samples. In this case, being a geologist, I provided meteorites and I provided earth samples. And there was a lot of discussion back and forth after the presentation. It helped cement all these topic points I was talking about. I also realized one can combine more than one principle. So the natural world is also part of space and space science. Also in checkpoint 1.3, you're using alternatives for visual information. We're allowing people to view the moon, the planets, stars, galaxies on the screen in a classroom environment in the outdoors right here on the left. And at the same time, they get the more up close and personal view through the telescope one-on-one at the same event. This is something my astronomy club does, and we've added electronic assisted astronomy to it. This is something I've been developing for the past few years, and it works really well. Another one I chose was UDL design representation checkpoint number 3.1, activate or supply background knowledge. One of the problems we have, students are lacking prerequisite knowledge for their course content. So one might try to identify common course knowledge as often forgotten and missing by students or majors in their upcoming classes. So the idea is to create a video library to utilize in the LMS system, and basically use these videos in your class pre-assignments before your class, next coming class, so you can have the least amount of catch up that you have to pay attention to in the beginning of class. This may save 20 or 30 minutes of classroom time. So you're not backtracking as much as you would have had you had to explain entire concepts from scratch. Also, we happen to use a lot of props, samples, models, globes, even computer software. At a moment's notice, they're placed in the classrooms. The classrooms are themed. Basically, I will look at lessons coming up and have these objects available so students see them already. And then they're also available for myself or a professor to grab them at a moment's notice during class time or lab time, for that matter. Kind of combined on this one slide, EL design number 6 is collaboration and competition, and EL design number 9, solitude and reflection. These two actually work very well for a group project. So you assign or allow students to choose the individual tasks or parts that they may be comfortable doing. And then, they have a meeting. You allow them to work together and then alone for a time to do their own work and contemplation, and then have the group come back together a couple of times and then eventually present their findings. And it promotes freer thought and brings about leadership traits in your students. EL design principle number 10, service and compassion. So basically, we want to encourage our earth and environmental science majors to participate in summer research programs. And many of our research programs are in conjunction with other organizations. For instance, here, this was a YMCA at Fairview Lake up in Sussex County. We were looking at algal blooms in the lake and how it's affecting the natural environment and the lake water and the people, and what are the causes. So the idea is you want to facilitate space for students to engage with the community outside the university, involve them in the planning of individual projects pertaining to their field of study, allow them to see the effects of certain types of pollution firsthand and how it affects local communities outside the university. And it also, again, instills a sense of stewardship within the chosen field of study and how it relates to the larger world outside our university environment. So in summary, I found that I had already been using some of these principles and maybe didn't even know it. But there's always room for improvement and inclusion of other principles. Be organized, but stay fluid. Changes and innovations in learning can come quickly at times, and it's important to change with the times to enhance the learning experience. Thank you very much.